Hey everyone! I took a trip to Portland recently to visit my friends Sutton and Mitchell, and I brought along my Kiev 88. Here are some of the film photos I got on ektar 100. Enjoy! For this video, I'll be loading and then taping up my camera with gaff tape. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's because the Kiev betrayed me on my last roll and now I have trust issues. Let's review. I got this roll developed the week before I left for Portland. I was definitely surprised. My Kiev is the most inconsistent of all of my cameras, but this was by far the worst roll I've ever gotten back. Light leaks are everywhere and mostly random, except for the ones down the middle that to me look like they could have been a reflection off the shutter, maybe? I didn't use tape on this roll, so I'm hoping the tape helps this time. When it works, the Kiev is one of my favorites, but when it's bad, it's truly the worst. And just like any good toxic relationship, I keep crawling back. Now the question is, will this be the end of the line for my Kiev, or is there still hope that I can somehow save it? There's only one way to find out. Today, Sutton is shooting Portra 400 on our Canonet QL17. After we were done loading our cameras, we looked around Powell's books and headed out to shoot some photos downtown. Next, we did our own personal photography bike tour and made our way towards the bridges. I've never done this before and it was honestly a perfect way to explore. And with the Kiev taped up, I was feeling pretty hopeful and inspired. Sutton is one of my closest friends. We actually met in the film program in college. I knew I liked her right from the beginning because of her adventurous spirit. She's traveled all over the world, having filmed a documentary in Italy last year, and she's also visited many other countries like Mongolia, Taiwan, Romania, among others. Wherever she goes, she always has an interesting story to share. She's also naturally good at making friends too. I've always admired how the women in her life embody her qualities as well. Bold, independent, and all interesting people. As a woman, I feel like there's something so revitalizing about being in groups with this energy. I feel like it heals you in a way you sometimes didn't know you needed. Sutton moved from LA to Portland recently with Mitchell, her husband, and another friend from college, and this is my first time visiting them since they moved. I had pitched her this video of shooting photography together since she lived in LA, so I'm excited that we were finally able to do it in Portland. The last thing we did was see Multnomah Falls. I think it was the biggest waterfall I've ever seen. We hiked to the top, and boy was I sweaty after that.
Stand right here so I can take your picture?
No.
Just in those bushes?
in the bushes? No. No. I also want to give a huge thank you to Sutton and Mitchell for hosting me and for agreeing to be in this video too. And special thank you to Frankie, of course, just for being the perfect cat. And now the moment of truth. Did the photos turn out, or is my camera beyond saving? That might sound just terrible. I don't know if that's even usable. Good news and bad news. I'll give you the bad news first. Out of 24 photos, only 14 came out. The light leaks are mostly gone, so that's fixed. However, there is some bleeding of frames. The drag is consistent in its shape, it's just not consistent in the frequency that it shows up on the roll. The fact that there is consistency at all makes me think it's a mechanical issue, because if the film had just been stuck or not exposing evenly, it would look a lot more random. And if you look at how the shutter works, I put this on bulb so I could just see it in slow motion, basically. So it opens on one side and then closes on the other, and then you reset it, and then you reset it. I wonder if when I advance the film, maybe one part of the shutter is stuck open. There are two elements in the shutter. One part opens, one side closes. So that's what makes me think that could fail. The good news is I did get some photos that I really loved. This was my first time using Ektar 100 and it truly delivered. I love how saturated the colors are, but I like that they're not saturated in a cheap way. The contrast is so pretty too. It was perfect for shooting outdoors and in nature, but I was also surprised with how well it worked indoors too. I'm definitely excited to shoot more with this film stock in the future. But we have to return to the issue at hand. The Kiev has always been special to me. I've had it for 8 years and it was my first medium format film camera. It was also the first camera that I ever made a YouTube video with. I originally got it because I was just starting out and it was the cheapest medium format camera. And I kind of love it for that. I love that it makes medium format a tiny bit more accessible. And I love the fact that you can get truly beautiful images out of it despite it being a cheap camera. When it works, it makes some of my favorite photos, but it's also given me more headaches than any other camera I own. Is it finally time to say goodbye?